name's Regan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery, suspense, and adventure in tonight's Jeff Regan story of The Lady by the Fountain.
A block above Wilton off Hollywood Boulevard, there's a street called Taft. And the first dirty gray apartment house on the right-hand side's where I pick up my laundry. 428. I'm finishing out the lease for a guy who's up at San Quentin waiting for the second week in December. That's where the state's going to help him forget a blonde he never should have remembered. Well, it's a place to live. I've got a leaky faucet and a bed that comes out of the wall. And that's where I was last Monday morning about 6 o'clock when somebody began pounding on the door. I figured the place was burning down, but it turned out worse. My boss. A couple of 100 pounds of black cigar stuffed into a blue suit.
Regan, it's me.
The Lion.
It's a nice morning. The sun's up. The birds are up. What are you doing?
Just hoping somebody'd drop in. What do you want?
Hey, get your pants on. We got lots of work to do. This is going to be a busy day.
The last time you threw that line, I spent 6 weeks in the hospital.
You're always suspicious of people. You should learn to trust your fellow man. You can't go through life not having faith in people. Follow my example. Every man is my brother, Regan.
And if you figured there was a buck in it, you'd sell him to a chain gang.
And I'll see here.
And you'd be the first one to turn him in if he got loose.
That kind of talk doesn't set well with me, Regan. Remember, I have you under contract international, and I hold your bond.
You can let loose any time you want to. It's no season pass to come in here in the middle of the night.
Now, there's no need for you and I to argue. I guess I'm a bit edgy. Been up all night long. Mind?
Yes, I do.
As I said, I've been up all night long. Thanks. Regan, somebody got Tim Vickers, vice president of American Casualty Company, out of bed at 3 o'clock this morning.
He was at the same party with you?
They don't get old Tim out of bed unless there's dough involved. I looked into it. Headquarters tells me that a guy named Albert Colby made the call, lives out in Bel Air. Fine family, oil.
Put it on the road.
I wish you'd buy better stuff. Well, last night Colby got himself married to a tomato named Frances Shaner. Somewhere around midnight, the new Mrs. Colby and 50 or 60 other guests are heisted as nice as you please.
And the police are working on it. Goodbye.
No, you and me, we're working on
When
it.
they call American Casualty, that means whatever was taken was insured, and they've got their own man on it.
And it means they want it back bad enough to start paying a reward to anybody who can find whatever it is.
And it means the insurance company and the police department will be working on it, and they don't want anybody else sticking their nose in.
Oh, those cops can't pick up reward money, and neither can those company guys. Now, that leaves you and me, Regan. And International can use some extra dough.
Try the Morris plan.
I got a better one. You hop out to Colby's and get some details. I'll hang around headquarters and see what kind of story they've got.
You set them up, but they never come off.
If we find out what's gone, who took it, and get it back, we've made rent money. Yeah, I haven't had my breakfast yet. What's the matter, Regan? You look worried.
I am. That's my only bottle.
Oh, you got nothing to worry about anymore? Here, it's empty.
Well, the Lion only got as far as D in the alphabet. That's when they showed him how to spell dollar. And this Colby thing had a dollar sign in front of it as far as the Lion was concerned. And that means it's no use arguing. So I threw on some clothes and drove out to the Colby place. It turned out to be a lot of brick and grill work on top of one of those canyon roads right after you turn off Sunset into Bel Air. When I drove in the gate, I got a feeling somebody better check with London to see if Buckingham was still there. 2 guys in uniform stopped me. I showed them my license. They let me through. I parked in the driveway behind 3 police cars and started looking around for the ladies' entrance. That's when I spotted a tall guy in a brown sport coat sitting on a cement bench right by a fountain. Up close, he looked sad, like an umpire on a rainy day.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a guy named Colby.
Are you from the police?
No.
Insurance company?
No.
Well, we don't want any reporters hanging around
All
here.
right, I'm no scribe. Now, can you tell me where I can find Colby?
What do you want to see him about?
You're him.
Yes, I'm Albert Colby.
My name's Regan, International Detective Bureau.
Oh.
What does that mean?
Look, I've been through a very hard night, Mr. Regan. I learned a lot of things I didn't know before.
What kind of things?
The police tell me that when a group of jewelry is stolen, that it's more or less kidnapping. It's held in ransom until it's brought back, and that the procedure is to wait to be contacted by one of the thieves.
That's one way.
Yes, so I understand. It also can be broken up, disassembled, and sold on the market.
Yeah.
Very interesting and very sound economic structure. I'm surprised at the ingenuity of criminals.
A lot of people are. You want to tell me how it happened?
A man from my insurance office also told me there'd be uninvited private investigators around.
And he told you to keep quiet until he went to work.
In a word, yes.
You want the stuff back, don't you?
I do. But I believe the police and insurance company to be reasonably capable.
Just a
You're
minute.
wasting your time, Mr. Regan. Good morning.
He was right. I was wasting my time. The lieutenant in charge made a statement a half hour later that told me no more than I'd got from the Lion. It was easy to see they wanted to sit tight and wait for a contact. They were playing it coy. And I gave up after a couple of hours and walked out and got in my car. That's when I met her. A tall brunette with equipment to match. She looked good in that sable coat, but she'd have looked good in a fishnet. She didn't waste any time. She climbed in beside me.
I own one Cadillac and two Buicks, but they're all on the fritz. You can help me a lot.
Want me to buy you the Super Chief?
I want you to drive me to Wilshire and Fairfax.
The cab boys might think I'm cutting in.
Look, I don't know who you are, but I've been up all night answering questions and talking to a lot of nosy cops, and I'm tired.
Or your Disney Plus.
Be a good boy, huh?
Could you spend
You were here when it happened?
invest money?
Do I have to
in
go
the
through
Ministry
all
of
that
Philadelphia?
again?
If I take you to Wilshire and Fairfax, you
And
do.
don't think for a second your $10 doesn't make a difference. No, it's not $100
Mind giving me a
month,
name?
But your
Regan.
$10 a month
All right.
makes a huge difference.
I'm
if it
Francie.
weren't for people giving $10 a month, Caleb
Francie
would not be on the
Colby.
air.
I'm not used to the
It's
name yet.
that simple.
Best wishes.
And right now, we
For
have got
what?
a big
that
challenge.
what they say
because
when you
we're
get
looking for
married?
you to be one of 100 people
You ever
in
met
these
him?
next couple
Yeah, in your
songs
garden.
doing your
Doesn't
part
talk
with a
much.
$100
that way.
birthday and with a $10 month.
What do you want to know, Regan?
When it happened, how they did it.
Oh,
Oops.
whoa, boy. I'll tell you my story, and you pick out what you can use.
Let's hear it.
It was 2 hours after the ceremony. Everybody was out in the garden for the reception. I don't know where they came from, but there were 3 of them.
What'd they look like?
They were tall, wore masks. One handled a gun and lined up everybody, and the other 2 had pillowcases. They went down the line and took everything that glittered.
Strictly jewelry.
There are
Anything
a lot
big?
of people who are in need
20,000 from the
of the
rest
love
of
of
them.
Jesus that need to know
I
that their
was
life
queen.
matters.
Hmm?
And
I was wearing a
along with
thing
that
called the
reminder,
Colby
the
Group.
amazing
Necklace
thing
and
about
bracelet
Caleb, when you
belonging
give
to
to
Bert's
Caleb,
mother.
not only do
What
you
price?
keep that reminder going for yourself and for
100,000.
your family.
There'll be a real payoff on that.
Hang on. Oh, man.
Oh,
Anybody
so
got-
that's your
Well,
end.
what would you have for that? No,
What else?
How'd these guys get away?
Backed out, took tax, and left.
Fourth man in their car?
No, one of them went ahead of the other 2.
Anybody go after them?
That's why I couldn't drive myself. All the cars were jumping. Phone line's gone.
Neat.
This is personal. That all you wanted to know?
Enough. Tell me, what kind of friend have you got who drives a green coupe?
I haven't got any friend who drives a green coupe.
Neither have I, but he's been following us ever since we left your place.
What?
Now look, I'll stop at this next corner, jump out, and run into the drugstore. You'll have to follow me.
You're a nice guy, Regan. I hope you make the grade on this.
Now.
So long.
She made it to the drugstore, and he stuck with me. I turned right when I hit Santa Monica Boulevard, and that's when he began playing games. His front bumper tapped my fender, and I pulled over. He crawled out of his car. A heavy man in a suit that didn't fit him around the middle. I didn't like the way he smiled.
What do you think of the new Mrs. Colby?
Nice girl. You a friend of hers?
No, never met her, really.
You never met me either.
That's where you're mistaken. Your name's Regan. You're with International Detective Bureau. You work for the Lion. Sent you out on a job.
What did I have for breakfast?
A lot of talk from the Lion about the Colby case, right?
You follow me just to tell me that?
I wanted to make sure you heard it. Real sure.
Well, you can unwrap your bumpers and get moving, Buster. I don't listen easy.
That's what they tell me, Regan. Yeah. My name's Winters. I got that badge 4 years ago. It says American Casualty Company on it. And right next to it, there's a license that makes me one of their investigators. Right now, I'm working on one of their cases.
You're wasting a lot of time.
No, you're wasting the time, Regan. This is a one-man show. I'm handling it, and I don't want any private peepers snooping around trying to fall in the cracks.
You talk like you got it all figured.
I got
so much of it there isn't any left for you and the Lion.
You really know that much?
I really know that.
Name me 3 hoods in black masks.
I'll have their files by 6 o'clock tonight.
Show me some important stuff called the Colby Group.
I'll have that, too.
Are they going to close it on talk?
Regan, I went through a lot of trouble to make sure you understood that you're not wanted. There's nothing in this for you or the Lion. No reward. Nothing. You're not wanted. Clear?
Yeah. So clear, I'm taking your license number right now. From here, I go to 3500 Hope Street, City License Bureau. They're going to tell me if you're what you say you are. But no matter what you are, if you get in my way, Buster, I'm going to look you up. And if you want to keep your arm, get it off of my car. And I checked on him. He was with American Casualty Company, all right. And a phone call to their office told me he didn't put on the Colby thing. So I gave up on that one. It was like trying to do a toe dance in a pair of hip boots. It was about 6 o'clock when I got to the office. The Lion was there. He looked unhappy, like somebody fed him a wax sandwich.
Where you been? I've been phoning all over town for you.
I went to a double feature. I met a guy named Colby and a girl named Colby. They're husband and wife.
Well, that's dandy. That's just great. You can forget them all. It's finished. We struck out.
What do you mean?
Now, what happened in Chicago this afternoon?
Want me to guess?
A cop threw a couple of slugs into a bimbo named Mickey McIntyre. The other guy, Sweet Swanson, gave up right away.
Tie it up.
Mickey and Sweet were carrying some of the ice they heisted from the Colby place last night. They talked. And the guy Chicago's looking for now is named Pete Florio. Some gumshoe around Chicago's gonna tag him, and there goes our reward.
Where'd you get all this?
Robbery detail here was in on it. So it was over for us 3 hours ago. Any expenses after that are your own. And in the future, Regan, don't spend all day on it.
Shut up!
What did you say?
She was looking at the same thing I was looking at.
Broadcast as well
The
as
3
digital.
bullet holes across the front of the man who was standing just inside the door. A heavy-set man with a bad smile. He wasn't smiling this time. He was trying to talk.
Regan, I got it all, but you'll take it better than me if you... Who is it, Regan? What's he?
Ed Winters, investigator for American Casualty.
He in on this?
He was.
What do you mean?
He's dead. The whole Colby thing looked as phony as an undertaker in a pink derby. Colby and his wife Francie had a lot of conversation, but they didn't say anything.
People who get COVID-19.
But the insurance
it's so
investigator,
bad.
Ed Winters,
I found out
talked
it
like
may be
he had
because they
something.
have a high risk factor, such
Only
as
didn't
heart
get a chance to
disease,
tell his story.
diabetes, being overweight,
He fell in our front door
and
loaded
asthma.
down with
Even if
slugs.
symptoms feel mild,
And it didn't take 20/20 vision to see that all the action wasn't going to be around Chicago, where they picked up
So if
2 of
you're
the
at
3
high
hoods.
risk and test positive, there are things
The
you
Lion
can
didn't
do.
waste any time.
Like your
He locked the door and pulled the shades. Then he turned around to me.
Learn about
His eyes looked like dollar signs.
Regan, this is a stroke of luck. We're in business again.
You got it wrong. The coroner's office got something to do now.
Look, we aren't calling up any office until we find out who killed Winters and why.
You're out of your mind.
Remember, there's a reward for that Colby stuff, and we can still collect with this insurance company guy out of the way.
This is homicide now. Call him.
And let some rookie walk into the answer? Not on your life. Regan, somebody here in town's in on this. Big. And you're gonna find out who.
What about him?
He isn't going anywhere. Listen, we're the only ones who know about him. We can keep a secret for a while, and that gives us an advantage.
He had a secret.
He didn't play it smart. Do you realize what this can mean to us?
About 5 years at Folsom.
Let me worry about that.
Don't you ever give up.
Find out who bumped Winters, Regan, and we've won the cup.
You'll have to give it back. You cheated. Once the Lion smells a loose dollar, there's no sense arguing with him. It's like trying to teach ballet to a herd of elephants. Well, I went through Winters' pockets, found a billfold and a driver's license, some keys. Nothing that'd help. But downstairs, his green coupe was parked by the curb. The front seat was wet and sticky, but there was a notebook lying there. The single name, Frank Kilmer, was scrawled on the top page, and below it, Pink Lady. That didn't mean anything either. But I took it with me when I went back out to Bel Air. I found Colby out by the fountain again. He read the opening line.
Hello, Mr. Regan. What do you want now?
Information?
All right, here's something up to date. They caught 2 of the 3 men in Chicago this afternoon.
I know that much.
And the Chicago police expect to arrest the third one, Pete Florio, any minute. And when they arrest Mr. Florio, that will be the end of it.
You make it sound easy.
Facts are facts, Mr. Regan.
There's another version.
What is that?
Inside work.
I don't know what you're looking for, and I don't think I particularly care. I'll just ask you to leave these premises and not bother me nor my wife anymore.
Hello, darling. I didn't know we had company.
Ah, Francis, sweetheart, this is Mr. Regan. I was just telling him I didn't like him.
Hello, Mr. Regan. Have you heard the news? I'm going to get my jewelry back, so things aren't so bad after all.
That's what Brooklyn thought today.
My, you sound vicious.
I've met him twice, darling. He always sounds this way. He doesn't think the police will apprehend Pete Florio. Do you, Mr. Regan?
You're a long way from the end, Colby.
Well, if he
License
feels
number
that way, then it
974-908.
does
It's a
happen to work
word
out
we've been
that
hearing too much of
You'll buy me
lately.
another bracelet.
Inflation. The gas station, the grocery store, we've seen the prices. They're terrifying.
Now,
Many
Regan, you can see
economists
how
believe
worried
the
we both
U.S.
are
is
about
headed
this
towards
whole
recession, and
I'm
some
certain there's nothing
homeowners
more
going to be
we can
caught
do.
off
You're wrong.
guard
I got
by
2
dropping
things to
home
do.
values.
Yeah.
My friend
Find out
Eddie
who Frank
Stack has been
Kilmer is,
helping you and I
and
for
look up
nearly
the Pink
20
Lady.
years.
Good night.
And Eddie told
Just
me
a minute.
recently that we've seen this happen.
I'll have to
before.
swing
Many
wild
of us
in the
were caught off
preliminaries.
guard, but this time there's
Colby and his wife
signs,
figured to be
and
on
we're
the
better
main event.
prepared for it. And Eddie suggested we
And I
have at
started
least
with the
12
phone
months
book.
reserves
It
to
didn't
get
turn up
through
a
a down
Frank Kilmer, but it
economy.
did show a
Listen,
Pink
we
Lady
can't control
nightclub in San
inflation,
Marino.
recession, or rising
It
rates,
wasn't
but
much.
we can control
was a little pale
what
guy
we do
playing
now
piano in
to
one
protect
corner.
our equity.
Figured
Call
he'd never
my
been out for a
friends
music
at Purpose
lesson.
Funding before that huge
I put the
correction
question to
in
the
the
bartender.
market, and don't be caught off
No,
guard. with
I've never
vanishing
heard of a
money.
guy named Frank Kilmer. Just got here from Cheyenne myself. Worked at the frontier for 4 years. Nice place.
Yeah, sure.
PurposeFunding.com.
Anybody else might know?
I don't know, Pelt. Well, why don't you ask somebody?
God has blessed you
Oh,
with children,
ask her.
and with
She's
that
a
blessing,
cigarette
the
lady.
responsibility
Kitty.
to prepare those children
Kitty.
for life. You want a school that shares your values, provides a challenging
This is
curriculum,
Mr.
and develops
Regan.
godly
Yes,
character.
Mr. Regan.
That's why parents
Want to
choose
ask if you
Newport
ever
Christian
seen a guy
School in
named,
Newport Beach to
Frank
provide the
Kilmer?
best possible
You don't
experience
know
from
what he looks
transitional
like.
kindergarten to 12th grade. When
She
you
don't
become part
know.
of the Newport
Why don't you
Christian
go
School
crack some
family,
ice?
your child
We got
benefits
plenty
from a
ice,
low
kitty.
student-teacher
Enough
ratio.
ice to last all
It's going to be a
Computer
hot
lab,
night.
championship
Beat it.
sports program,
All
and before
right,
and after
all
school
right.
care program. Their nurturing environment encourages them academically,
You know the other
physically,
guy,
and
Mr. Regan?
spiritually. Newport Christian School provides a safe,
He had a
loving
name,
Christian environment
and
where
he
everyone
paid
is
for his
challenged
information.
academically
Yeah.
and encouraged to follow
His
the
name
Bible
was
as the
Winters.
reference point
It was
on
around
all
this
matters
morning,
of morality,
knocking
character
on my
development,
What do you
and
wanna
personal
know?
responsibility.
What do
Join
you
their
wanna
family
know?
this year. Call to
About
schedule your
Frank
tour
Kilmer.
at 949-760-5485 or
Wait a
visit
minute. Is Frank in
newportchristianschool.org.
trouble?
He's a name on the scratch pad,
NewportChristianschool.org.
lady.
I don't want to get anybody in any
It's
trouble.
new.
tell me what you
You can
told
now
Wendy.
stream encouragement from
I met
thefishoc.com.
Frank 2 years ago.
Listen on your Fish app, smart
used to go out
speakers,
once in a
and
while.
from Odyssey.com.
We're just keeping
Oh, a
you
little
safe on
over
the fish, so
year
you can let
ago.
your guard down. Portions of the following program have been
I
pre-recorded.
met somebody else.
KFSH-FM, La Mirada, Los Angeles, and the Fullerton Arboretum, 95.9.
Singer named
The
Francie
Fish.
Shane.
Listen while you work.
They picked up together, Frank and Francie.
On 95.9.
They were
The
lousy,
Fish.
Regan. I hated it.
Then what?
They went over to Las Vegas one night and got married. Over a year ago. I haven't seen them since. But I saw Francie in the paper last week. All about her marrying some guy named Colby.
What'd Kilmer do for money?
Honey, I don't know. He had money sometimes. Sometimes he didn't. I lent him some. Why?
Does the name Pete Florio mean anything to you? Ricky McIntyre? Sweet Swanson? Thanks. This helps.
Regan, you meet lots of people. Maybe you understand. Like why she'd take him away from me and then not use him. Why would a girl do a thing like that?
Maybe she didn't. It was beginning to shape up by the time I left her, but I needed more to go on. The old telephone book gave Francie Shaner, the new Mrs. Colby, an apartment address near Fairfax and Wilshire. I took a chance she hadn't moved all the things out yet. It was on the 3rd floor, right next to the fire escape. I pulled out a ring of skeletons. The 3rd one did the trick. All the stuff was still there. Some of it packed. Some of it just spread around. desk drawer, I found a copy of the Nevada divorce action separating Francie and Kilmer. And in the bedroom, a picture. Tall, dark-looking guy I'd never seen before. It said, Love, Frank. I was still looking for things when I heard the front door open. I clicked off the light and waited. He was a tall, black shadow to me. I couldn't see his face. But that 45 stood out like a wart on an egg. This didn't come near me, but I had better luck. I spun him around enough to start him back down the hall toward the fire escape. I had to take cover. I got to the fire escape in time to see him run out of the alley and jump in the car. Whoever it was, he was carrying one of my slugs in him. The place was beginning to crawl with people. I went back inside. I figured I'd better check with the Lion before I started explaining to the cops. I'm calling from her old apartment. I was looking through her stuff when somebody began throwing lead.
Say it! Gunfight! Regan, how many times have I told you?
Shut up and listen. I checked whoever it was, but he got away. The cops will be here any minute, and I'm going to have to do some explaining. And when I tell it, they'll want a story from you about that stiff in your office.
Now, look, Regan, we're about at the end of this thing. What do you know?
Francie once had a boyfriend named Kilmer. She married him, divorced him. But that
Kilmer, not Frank Kilmer.
Give it to me.
Pete Florio has an alias. It's
Frank Kilmer. I left my card with a skinny guy in blue pajamas so they could find me for the quiz games down at headquarters. It took me 10 minutes to get out to that house in Bel Air. I parked outside the gate, walked through the garden to the back. Somebody had drained the fountain. Somebody was sitting there. And it wasn't Colby.
Share it with a friend. 95.9.
It was Francie. And she had a big hurt. I'll have to get a doctor. Who did it?
Pete Florio. He thought I tipped Chicago. But you don't know.
I know you were married to him when his name was Frank Kilmer. I know you worked this thing out with him. You killed Winters. This is no time to lie.
All I know is Pete and I worked out the heist. I wore the jewels that night so he could get it. Only he didn't take it. He made it in the fountain here.
Yeah, so Pete could come back for it after he straightened out with those other guys in Chicago, huh?
But it didn't break me away. Break it.
Where is it? Did Pete...
And they're not making that model anymore. Don't move a finger.
Plane service good from Chicago, Pete?
The best. I've been there and back in 24 hours. You get around too, don't you? What's your name?
Regan.
Regan. I'm gonna plug you. And
You're making all kinds of mistakes tonight.
my mistake was tying in with Francie. First up $100 grand to stick that knife in her. Now I don't know where the stuff is.
Somebody else had a part.
Hot air.
Wait till you try our gas chamber.
Turn around. Now, stand real still. That's it. I want to watch your collar whip.
It was Colby. One hand was hanging like he'd never use it again. The other one was doing all right. He just kept on. He grabbed for the bench, then slid down and shook all over a couple of times, like he was saying no in a big way. It was finished. Yeah, you did fine. You saved the state some expenses. Give me that gun. Same one you used on Winters?
Found out the same thing I caught you finding out. My own wife planned to steal from me.
How did you tip to it?
A week before we were married, I saw Florio, Kilmer, whatever you call him, watching the house. I'd seen his picture in Francie's apartment. I found what they were planning. I listened in on it all.
And you wanted them to get away with it. So you could get the stuff out of the fountain before Florio got back. So you could stick the insurance company to the payment. I didn't think you needed dough that bad.
Regan, it wasn't. It was for her. All she wanted was money. Now look at her. Regan, all I wanted was her. I didn't care if she stole from me.
Leonard, good lord.
95.
All I wanted was
Hey,
her.
it's lunchtime with Kevin and Taylor.
Do you have any good hacks when it comes to helping your kids in the I helped my niece Ava with her homework last week.
The Lion and I spent the next 36 hours at headquarters trying to explain away that stiff in our office.
So you take
Didn't explain
a
easy.
8.5 by 11 piece of paper,
But
fold
they began
it
to
in
listen
half
better
long
after
ways,
Colby showed
and
them
then
where he
you
hid that
fold the
necklace and
wings
bracelet
back
after he
on
took it out of the
each
fountain.
side, like that, and
Chicago
then
police told us their
you
tip-off had been on a
flip it
long-distance
around the
call.
words, like rojo
That's
red,
making that part
rojo
out.
red. I should make a video
Colby
of
tipped him.
it because
He'd been hoping that Pete and all of them would get shot up in the pinch.
Writing them all down.
Now,
just learned.
it didn't work that way.
Helps you learn better.
When I got
And then
back to
you've
the
got
office, the
this
Lion was sitting
paper
there.
you can carry wherever you
He
go
looked sad,
and study whenever
like
you
a
have
derby
couple
entry with a
minutes to
broken
study.
leg.
I made
Regan,
one
I just got terrible
Roddy,
news.
Roddy,
We aren't going to get a reward.
I knew that when I turned in Colby. Stuff never left the premises.
Oh, we fouled out on a technicality, and I worked so hard.
Sitting here with that stiff must have kept you real busy.
It's your fault. You should have let Florio or Colby or somebody walk out of there with that stuff and then nab them.
It's money all you ever think about.
What else is there to think about? If you got it, you're okay. If you haven't got it, you're a bum.
Well, you can find somebody else to go around trying to make a gentleman out of you. I quit.
You what? Well, now, just a minute, Jeffrey, please. Let's not fly off the handle. I'm just upset, that's all. I'm not myself. Why, International couldn't get along without you. I couldn't get along without you. You're like my own son. I'm an old man, Jeffrey. Sure are. The rigors of the business, the scars of the battle are heavy with me. Jeffrey, I need you. Oh, sure. You'll stay? Good. Here, stop by American Casualty on your way home. Give this to Tim Vickers.
What for?
For 2 days' work. Even if we can't collect the reward, we got something coming.
You never learn, do you?
That's a legitimate bill. Didn't I stand guard over the body of one of their agents all day long? I charged them union rate.
What?
The pallbearers are organized. It's a branch. What's the matter, Regan? You look worried.
I am.
Do you guys have the double
I'm just wondering how they're going to
cheeseburger?
explain you in the time capsule.
Yeah, I think it's like $2.99. Yeah, that's it.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, written by E. Jack Newman, directed by Sterling Tracy, is heard at the same time each week over these same stations. Frank Graham plays the title role. Frank Nelson is Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Richard Arant. Be with us next week at the same time for another story of suspense and mystery and adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator.